Welcome to your Cyber Tips Explainer, where we make everyday people understand the cyber world around us.
Think about it for a second. What's the very first thing you do when you need something online? You search, right? It's muscle memory. We don't even think about it. We just trust that little search bar implicitly. But what if that trust is the exact thing being used against you? What if that top search result, the one that looks so perfect, is actually a trapdoor to your bank account, your private messages, your entire digital life? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a threat that's hiding in plain sight, turning our most trusted online habit into a weapon.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to expose the invisible trap and see how your own trust is weaponized. Then we'll walk through the anatomy of a modern hack, step by step. After that, we'll meet the ghost in the machine to see what happens after they get in. Next, we'll take a look at the surprisingly organized hacker's black market. And finally, the most important part, we'll get to building your digital fortress so you know exactly how to fight back.
Okay, let's dive right in. We all start in the same place, the search results page. It feels safe, right? It feels authoritative. We've spent years being trained that the #1 spot is the best, the most correct answer. And that, right there, that deeply ingrained belief, that's the vulnerability. That's what the bad guys are counting on.
So what is this attack actually called? It's known as SEO poisoning. Now, you've probably heard of SEO, search engine optimization. It's what legit companies use to get their websites to show up higher in search results. Well, criminals have hijacked those same tactics. They're gaming the system, using all sorts of dirty tricks to make their dangerous websites look like the most trustworthy result, essentially turning the search engine into their unwilling partner in crime.
Now, take a look at this, because this is where it gets really sneaky. On the left, you've got the real official download page for a program called TeamViewer. Looks normal. But now look at the one on the right. At a quick glance, they look identical, don't they? Same title, same description. But the entire trap is hidden in one tiny detail, the URL. Instead of teamviewer.com, it's team-viewer.run. That tiny little dash is designed to fly right under your radar when you're moving fast. And the moment you click it, the trap springs.
And to get these poisoned links in front of you, hackers have a few favorite plays. First, there's malvertising. This is the simplest one. They just buy the ad space at the very top of the page. Then there's typo squatting, where they prey on our fat fingers and common spelling mistakes. But the most sinister one is organic poisoning. This is where they use a whole bag of tricks to manipulate the search engine's algorithm itself so their malicious site climbs the ranks and looks like the most popular, most legitimate result, all without paying for an ad.
So we've seen the bait. Now let's watch the trap snap shut. We're going to follow the complete life cycle of an attack, from that one single, innocent-looking click all the way to a full system compromise. And this isn't theory. This is the exact playbook being used out there right now.
The whole operation breaks down into 4 deceptively simple steps. It all begins with the search. That leads to the click on one of those poisoned links. Next up is the download of a file that looks totally harmless. And it all ends with the final act, a silent, invisible infection that takes over your computer.
So our story starts with something incredibly normal. A user, could be you, me, anyone, needs a popular piece of software. So they search for Notepad++ download. And sitting right there, at the very top of the results, is the link. It looks official, it feels right, it's a perfectly crafted piece of bait.
So of course, the user clicks. They land on a web page that is a carbon copy of the real thing. I mean, these guys are artists when it comes to forgery. Sometimes they'll even create fake pages on developer sites like GitHub to look extra legitimate. As FortiGuard Labs says, they're designed to look almost identical to the real deal, but they host installers that contain both the real app and some hidden malware. And that's exactly what happens. The user downloads the software, and it shows up as a zip file. We see zip files all the time, nothing to worry about, right? But what you can't see is that tucked inside this digital Trojan horse, right alongside the real installer, is a malicious script. To you, it just looks like another file. In reality, it's the detonator.
And here's where the real magic trick happens. You run the installer, and the actual Notepad++ program opens up. Everything looks totally fine on the surface, but in the background, a brilliant piece of deception is unfolding. The legitimate program has been tricked into loading a malicious file for the hackers. Think of it like a trusted friend walking past your home security system, but they've got an intruder hidden under their coat. Your antivirus sees the trusted friend and lets them pass, completely blind to the danger being smuggled inside. It's a technique called DLL sideloading, and it's devastatingly effective.
So that's it. The hacker is in. They've waltzed right past your defenses, and you have absolutely no idea. The payload is delivered. But what now? What does this ghost in the machine actually do once it's inside? Well, one of the first things they do is install something called a remote access Trojan, or a rat. The easiest way to picture a rat is to imagine a hacker has an invisible chair pulled up right next to yours. They can see your screen in real time, they can move your mouse, they can type on your keyboard, they have complete and total remote control of your computer as if they were sitting right there.
Now that they're in control, the heist begins. The malware unleashes what's known as an info stealer, and these things are built for one purpose: a digital smash and grab. In just a few seconds, malware like Redline or Hidden Ghost will race through your system, grabbing every single piece of valuable data it can find.
And the sheer scope of what they take is just chilling. We're talking about every password you've ever saved in your browser, all of your session cookies, your cryptocurrency wallets, your browsing history, even a log of your keystrokes. This isn't just about stealing one password to one account. This is about stealing the keys to your entire digital kingdom, giving them a direct path to your bank accounts and your identity.
And this ghost isn't just passing through. To make sure you can't get rid of it with a simple restart, the malware digs itself deep into your system and creates a scheduled task. You can think of it like a zombie. It sets a hidden alarm clock that tells the malware to wake up and run again every single time you turn on your computer. It's called achieving persistence, and it means they're here to stay.
Now, it's so important to understand that the click that started this whole mess was not a random event. It was the final move in a highly sophisticated, professional, and global criminal enterprise. This isn't just a hack, it's a business, a very profitable one.
And what's really shocking is the price of admission. On black markets, criminals can buy what are called Hacklink services for as little as $1. For the price of a cup of coffee, they can plant their malicious link on a hacked website that has a good reputation, borrowing its trust to trick the search engines and lure in victims.
And this whole criminal world has become incredibly specialized. You have the Hacklink markets that sell these poisoned links. Then you have another group entirely, the initial access brokers. Their only job is to break into networks. That's it. They don't deploy the final ransomware. Instead, they just get the door open and then they sell that access to the highest bidder, who are often the big ransomware gangs like Black Cat or Recita. It's a full-blown supply chain.
Okay, we have been through the trap, the attack, and the dark industry behind it all. I know it's a sobering picture, but the point of all this isn't fear, it's empowerment. Because knowing how the trick works is the first step to not falling for it. So now, let's talk about how we fight back. Let's build your fortress.
And here's the good news, your defense strategy isn't super complicated. It really comes down to two key things. The first pillar is a set of new habits, your human firewall. The second pillar is a handful of essential tools, your digital shield. You put those two things together and you create layers of defense that make you a much, much harder target.
Now let's start with the human firewall. Rule number 1, and this is non-negotiable: only download software directly from the company's official website, never from a search result. If you're at work, it's even simpler. Ask your IT department. Second, get into the habit of hovering your mouse over any link before you click. Just pause for a second. The real web address will pop up in the corner of your browser. And finally, stop blindly trusting the little padlock icon. All that lock means is the connection is encrypted. It says absolutely nothing about whether the person at the other end is a good guy or a bad guy.
Now for your digital shield. First, get a good ad blocker. It completely eliminates malvertising as a threat. Second, make sure you have solid antivirus software running. That's your safety net. Third, use a password manager. It creates and remembers ridiculously strong, unique passwords for every site, so if one gets stolen, the damage is contained. And the final, most powerful wall, multi-factor authentication. Turn it on everywhere you can. Because even if a hacker gets your password, they can't get in without that second code from your phone.
So we started all this with the question about trust. For years, we've treated that search bar like the trusted front door to the entire internet. But now that you've seen the traps, the poison, and the ghosts in the machine, you have to ask yourself a new question. Are you leaving that front door wide open and unlocked? The choice, from now on, is yours. Subscribe to this channel, like and share this video with someone you deeply care about to have a foolproof cyber defense.